Aloha everyone, Ian Finn here, and I want to talk to you about the Yoga Sutras. It's an incredibly powerful book, and I'm getting ready for an online course on the Yoga Sutras to share that, and a book about it. And it is so deep, even though there's only 2,000 words to the whole text. I've been sharing also on our Blissology Instagram recently about the Yamas. The Yamas are things that we do morally that help us to get our heads into the right space so that we have less chitvrittis, less thoughts bouncing around in our minds. So when we get to the limbs of meditation, we can really become still in our lives to recognize our highest consciousness. Now the first one was easy because it's ahimsa. Ahimsa is nonviolence, and I think you love nonviolence. I love nonviolence, about bringing more kindness out into the world. The next one was a little bit harder when I first started writing about it, Satya. Truthfulness. I'm like, okay, truthfulness, yeah, it's good, but not quite as exciting as ahimsa. But I wrote about it the other day, and I loved what I wrote, and I'm not done with it yet. There is so much more to unpack. And that's what's cool about these sutras. The lens I want to look at the the Yama of Satya, truthfulness, through is through a book that meant a lot to me called Power versus Force, David Hawkins. Now, this is one of the central texts that really kind of aligns with what I'm trying to do when I stand in front of a group of people to share and teach yoga or whatever I'm offering. It means I need to let go of my ego self. Do people like this, not like it? And stop playing the game of liked and not liked, and get out of my own way and become a conduit for a higher power to come through me. And this is an amazing skill, whether you teach yoga or just as a human being. This idea of living from a higher power and not needing to force our agenda on people so much for likes is liberating. And it's just one of the greatest life lessons. So let me unpack this idea of power versus force a little bit more, and then I want to relate it back to the idea of Satya, truthfulness. The idea in power versus force, if I had to summarize it, is that force, again, is when you're really trying hard to manipulate people. And power is when you don't have to try so hard, you let something come through you. Now, a story to illustrate this is a kid's story about the sun and the wind and a man standing in a field wearing a jacket. And the sun and the wind were talking, and they said, let's see who can get the man to remove his jacket. So the wind used force, and it blew and blew and blew. And what happened to the man in his jacket? He actually just tightened up and held his jacket tighter. It was the sun's turn. The sun turned into a power. The sun just tuned into who the sun really is and shone a little bit brighter. And the man removed his jacket. And this is what we need to do in life, is to try and stop play the game of filtering, of manipulating, of propaganda, and just really clearly, darshan, see life and free it from our ego perspective, because the yogis have a term that's related to power versus force. When we are living from a level of force, we are in our ego, which is our small s self, small s self. When we are in our big S, capital S self, we are letting a higher power come through us. We are in our highest spiritual place. And the beautiful thing is that that is the goal also of power versus force. And here's where I want to go with it. Is that when governments are living from a level of force, they try and manipulate people through fake news, through propaganda, through altering the truth and not letting people know the other side's truth, and in order to keep control. And this, in some cases, they actually bring tanks out to push demonstrators away. That didn't really happen. is the message. And you know and I know how you feel when that happens. Versus someone like Gandhi, who let a power come through him, who didn't need any tanks, who didn't need to actually exert control. He just needed to let the sun shine deeper of this higher nature and awaken the higher nature of others. Now, I know it upsets you when you see governments using fake news and propaganda. However, in small ways, we do this, again, through our filters we use. I wish I didn't have these wrinkles. Oh, I'll just filter them out. I can alter reality to shape it the way I want so that I get more likes. And what that does, when you think about it, is it traps us into our small s self, into the realm of force and manipulation, into our egos, which is an anchor and keeps us in that place, and it doesn't allow us to sail into the next level of our spiritual consciousness, of our highest consciousness. And the very test of power versus force is applied kinesiology, and I don't want to be too much of a spokesperson for applied kinesiology. I just want to tell you that you have bodily feedback, and you feel different when you tell the truth and when you don't tell the truth. But the test is am I strong when I tell the truth? So if I say my name is Ian, and if someone presses down on my hand, I will be strong. If I say my name is Frank, then I test weak. And this is how it happens, is we want to go deeper and deeper into our truth and develop that ability to listen to this internal guide all the time so that a power comes through us. And so Satya is such an important limb to get us out of the realm of our ego and into the realm of our highest power, to get us out of force and into power. Satya is a beautiful limb. Study it, practice it, be honest with you know who? Your own self first and foremost. Don't feel a need to filter things. Just say, yeah, this is me, who I am, and accept yourself, and you will make space for a higher power to come through you. As Jesus says, the truth shall set you free. I don't know if we meant it exactly this way, but it will free you of your ego and open you up to your highest consciousness. Satya is a beautiful limb. Thank you for the beautiful yogis, Patanjali, who left these truths for us.